Welcome to Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters. This is the OC, and in today's video, I want to talk about, is La'el Collins gonna be traded? Let's go. All right, guys, before I get into the content, don't forget to hit the like and the share button. And hey, don't forget to turn on your bell notification icons for the latest and greatest in Cowboy sports and news. So, based upon a report by Ian Rappaport, the Cowboys are potentially shopping La'el Collins, who is due to make $10 million this coming season. Reportedly, there is no interest from other teams. What does this mean? Well, let's take a step back and understand what's happened the last couple of days. The Cowboys have gained $22 million in cap space by the restructuring of Dak Prescott's and Zach Martin's contract. With that said, the Cowboys are looking for additional cap relief for anybody who has not been a top performer or who they feel they can replace as an asset on this team. And if you follow Boss Cowboy Sports, I mentioned this earlier in the year when I said that heads will roll if you follow Boss Cowboy Sports, that we would have some serious conversations when we got into the offseason about Tank Lawrence, about some players that maybe have not performed up to a Pro Bowl level or up to their contract status. And so yet again, we have another example of this with the reports with La'el Collins. Currently, the state of the union as it relates to the Cowboys offensive line is really interesting because you have the impending contract of Connor Williams, who started most of the year at left guard. You have a young and I think talented, potentially talented guard, Connor McGovern. You have Tyler Badias, who to me, this was his rookie year in terms of him making a whole season. You have Terrance Smith, Hall of Fame in my opinion, left tackle when he's healthy. The issue is he's missed a lot of time with a variety of injuries. And then you have La'el Collins, who was suspended the first 6 games of the year, and the swing tackle who probably played the most consistent ball all year, in my opinion, would be Terrance Steel, who started both at left tackle and at right tackle. He started the first 6 games at right tackle in place of La'el Collins. If you follow Boss Cowboy Sports, we did extensive video on his performance and that he was playing at a Pro Bowl level. He was dominant in the run game with more than 80% of the positive yardage the first the first 6 games coming behind him based upon next-gen stats. You saw him move over and have a bad game versus Denver when Tyron Smith was hurt, but that was the only bad game he had at left tackle. His first game, moving from right tackle to left tackle, played extremely consistent throughout the year beyond that time. And so previously, early in the year, Jerry Jones mentioned that he envisioned having both Steel and Collins on the field together. There is some concern about that now because at the end of the day, based upon what we saw from the performances of Steel versus Collins, what you have here is a situation that could end up being a restructure, a release, or a trade if they can make it happen with La'el Collins, because this signifies to me that the Cowboys believe in Terrance Steel. He's younger, he's a second-year guy, he was undrafted, so he's extremely cap-friendly. If we're talking about finances, the Cowboys wouldn't have to truly be concerned about potentially re-signing him until a couple years from now. They believe, in my opinion, and the tape justifies this if you study it and you watch it, that he is more than adequate to be a starter at the right tackle position. This also opens the door for potential strategies as it relates to the Cowboys in free agency. Will the Cowboys try to pick up offensive line depth from free agency. We saw them do it with Nashe last season. I don't know how solid he was as a contributor to that offensive line. In my opinion, based upon history, the Cowboys prefer to build their offensive line depth through the draft. So, based upon their previous behavior, my opinion is that this opens the door with a pending trade or release of La'el Collins to be looking to draft an offensive lineman in the first couple of rounds of the NFL draft. That's my opinion. It's huge news. We understand that Smith is going to be a mainstay as long as he can play, as long as he can go, and deservedly so based on his career and his resume. But this does signify that the Cowboys are potentially, obviously, and clearly looking to move off of La'el Collins because of the $50 million contract that he signed a few years ago. And now we get to year 3 on that contract and all of the money begins to accelerate. So this year, $10 million, and really over the next 3 years, if he played out in that contract, he would basically be due in the neighborhood of $30 to $33 million. So the Cowboys are looking for some relief as it relates to that in terms of his performance. So interesting times, Cowboy Nation. Very, very interesting times. Collins played, I believe, his best game versus the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs. That was his absolute best game. Earlier when he started in the year, I thought he struggled. I thought the conditioning was an issue and perhaps maybe it was lingering injuries that may have been an issue with him. But as the season progressed and as he got more reps, he got better. But was he ever as good as Terrance Steel at the right tackle position? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. And this move by the Cowboys actually indicates that they agree with Boss Cowboy Sports, that potentially he was not the best. They wanted him to be, he had many opportunities to be, and that they may be looking to re-sign Connor Williams as well. Don't think that they might not do that with all the cap moves, especially if they believe they can get him on a discount and that they can get him cheap to stay around. They possibly could re-sign Connor Williams as well. So, interesting times, Cowboys fans. Let me know what you think about the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow Boss Cowboy Sports on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Follow me, the OC100, on Twitter. Until next time, see you.